Hey guys, welcome back for another video. We got a good one for today. What we're going to be doing is we'll be breaking down our number 5 Indiana versus number 2 Ohio State Buckeyes matchup. This is the game of the weekend, a top 5 on top 5 matchup. Number 2 versus number 5. Whoever wins this game cements themselves as the potential front runner to be playing the Oregon Ducks in the Big Ten Championship. A lot of things riding on this game. Whoever wins this game has a shot to not just win the Big Ten, but get that bye week. Make sure to hit that like button. Make sure to subscribe. If you have any comments about this game or anything else, please drop it below, and I will respond. Every week, we go over every single college football game. We do the predictions for every matchup. We do the best bets, the money lines, the spreads, the over-unders, and we also do the same thing for every NFL game as well. If you are a football fan, if you are a sports fan, make sure to hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe so you can follow along with us. So this is Ohio State's third top 5 matchup. They've played the Ducks. They've played Penn State. Now they're playing Indiana. Indiana, though, they have yet to get a top 25 win so far this season. They've had a great season so far. Props to Curt Cignetti. He has this team playing extremely well. They have a top 5 national offense. They have a top 5 national defense, one of the most rounded teams in the nation. But they would love to have a top 25 win under their belt right now to pad the resume for the standings. And who better than the Ohio State Buckeyes to get that win? To beat number 2 would be the icing on the cake for the Indiana Hoosiers this season. The Buckeyes, they want to make sure that they can line themselves up to get a rematch with the Ducks. They lost that first one. That was a really close game, one possession loss in Eugene, Oregon. It's hard to beat a good team twice. They want a rematch. They want to beat the Oregon Ducks. They want to win the Big Ten. Either way, in my view, no matter what happens this game, as long as the Buckeyes win next week versus Michigan, they are in the playoffs. Same thing for Indiana. Even if they lose this game, if they finish 11-1, some people are saying that they shouldn't make the playoffs. Look, you're coming out of the Big Ten, even though you don't have a top 25 win under your belt right now. If you finish 11-1 out of the Big Ten, you better make the playoffs. No one has any issue with the Texas Longhorns finishing 11-1, making the playoffs, even though they currently have no top 25 wins under their belt. It's one of the Power 4 conferences. 11-1 gets you in the playoffs. This game's going to be at 12 p.m. It's on Fox. Right now, Indiana's 10-0. The Buckeyes are 9-1. The Buckeyes have a 73.3% chance to win this game. No one's really giving Indiana a shot. But right now, the Hoosiers come in. They're averaging 43.9 points a game, a top 5 offense. They're throwing for 284.1. They're running for 176.7, a very balanced offense. They average just under 500 yards of total offense. They're only giving up 13.8 points per game. That is ridiculous. That's a top 10 defense. Cignetti completely flipped this roster, built it through the portal, and they have some added depth, but the Buckeyes obviously have a lot of depth. Right now, they come in, they're averaging 37.8. They're throwing for 275.1 yards per game. They're running for 183.8. One of the best 2 running back punches in the country. They have Quinton Junkins. They have Henderson. That is as good as it gets, 1-2 running back punch. They can cycle those guys through the game, keep them healthy the whole game, keep them with the endurance to play 4 quarters, and they're only giving up 10.3 points a game. This is the number 1 national defense, and they have a top 5 total yardage defense. They get after. They brought back 8 starters from the number 2 defense last year, and they added to it to the portal. This defense is deep. They can last the whole game. Who's going to win this game in the trenches? Right now, the Buckeyes only give up 90.7 rushing yards per game, but Indiana, they only give up 72.7 rushing yards per game. So 2 of the best rush defenses. Like I was saying, this game is going to be decided in the trenches. Who's going to dominate this game at the line of scrimmage? For Indiana, they have Rourke fully healthy, playing the quarterback position, closing in on 2,500 yards. He did miss one game. He has 21 touchdowns, 4 picks, and Ohio State has the Kansas State transfer, Will Howard, also closing in on 2,500 yards, 24 touchdowns, 5 picks. Looking at Indiana, they have Ellison at the running back position. They have Surratt at the receiver position, and the Buckeyes are obviously loaded. Quinton Junkins, Henderson, Smith, Egbuka, multiple weapons. The big question for them was their offensive line. They had a lot of injuries on the offensive line, but the other guys have stepped up. The line has not been a problem for the last 2 to 3 games, and they have that defense. As long as you have a defense that plays like they play, you're capable of winning any game. There's a lot riding on this one, though. If the Buckeyes lose this, to me, they will still make the playoffs as long as they beat Michigan. But Ryan Day's definitely going to be feeling the heat if they were to drop this one. If they can't lose to Oregon and they can't lose to Indiana, I think the Buckeyes have beat Indiana 28 straight times. It's a crazy number. They can't afford to lose right now. They're number 2. They have nothing else to play for. Just get that rematch with the Ducks. If you beat them, you finish the regular season number 1. You get the bye week. Indiana, they want the upset. They want to put everyone on notice. They've been getting a lot of flack, a lot of disrespect this season. They want this win to show how ready they are. This game is going to be close to me first half. Potentially through the third quarter, very close. The game could go either way. It's going to be decided in the trenches. It's going to go back and forth. But I think it's the Buckeyes' depth that's going to make the difference. You don't have to compete with them for 1, 2, 3, it's 4 quarters you have to outlast them. Ground and pound, cycling in healthy running backs the whole game, 5 carries, bring them out, or bring in the next running back, keep them healthy, and you have the vertical weapons. That's as deep of a wide receiver core as anyone in the nation. Jeremiah Smith, the best freshman wide receiver we've seen in a long time. I think that's what makes the difference. But Indiana's defense should be able to keep it close, keep it respectable, but I have the Buckeyes winning this one 28-20. So I'd be going with the plus 11, going with the under, but those lines will be moving as we get closer to game time. If anything, I think the Buckeyes are going to score more than winning by 8. I don't think it's going to be less, but it is very possible. That's not a disrespect to Indiana. I just think the Buckeyes' depth is going to make the difference here, and they have the momentum right now. Indiana also has the momentum, but I don't think they're quite there depth-wise to be able to outlast Ohio State. But either way, good game. I do predict both of these guys to make the playoffs. So that's a breakdown. That's our predictions for our 2024 matchup for Week 13. Number 2, Ohio State versus number 5, Indiana Hoosiers. Make sure to hit that like button. Make sure to subscribe. If you have any comments, please drop them below and I will respond. Thank you.